Hi there, good morning to you. This is Wake Up News live on Globe Television. I am Sandra BOAHEN. Coming up in the next 40 minutes. President Akufo-Addo petitioned to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo for alleged misbehavior and incompetence. This morning, out of the country have been seized and escorted to the Greater Accra Regional Police Headquarters. The minority in Parliament is calling for urgent answers regarding the death recorded during the recent election. Coming up later on the international front, a top Russian general has been assassinated in Moscow by Ukraine's SBU intelligence service. Coming up shortly, to stay with us. First story for this morning, Ghanaian citizen Professor Stephen Kwaku has petitioned President Akufo-Addo for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo for alleged misbehavior and incompetence. The petitioner, in a letter dated December 17, noted that the legal basis of my petition is Article 1461 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. For the avoidance of doubt, my petition focuses on stated misbehavior and incompetence related to the Chief Justice's administrative functions as head of the judiciary responsible for its supervision and administration under Article 1254 of the Constitution. Article 1461 stipulates that a justice of the Superior Court or a chairman of a regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except for stated misbehavior or incompetence or on the ground of inability to perform the functions of his office arising for infirmity of body or mind. The petitioner said his petition does not arise from the Chief Justice's exercise of her judicial functions. The petitioner indicated, for instance, that the Chief Justice's elaborate scheme of requesting the President to appoint specific judges and later presenting the names for the Judicial Council's approval subverts the constitutional scheme and converts both the Council and President into rubber stamping her preferred judges. The petitioner further noted that there have been reported incidences of the Chief Justice's direct interference with duly constituted panels with no explanations or public interest reasons for so doing. Away from that, in Parliament, the minority in Parliament is calling for urgent answers regarding the death recorded during the recent election. At least 3 people lost their lives during the 2024 election and its aftermath, while 8 fatalities were reported in the 2020 election. Tamale North Member of Parliament Al-Hassan Suhiyini emphasizes that election-related deaths should not be normalized. He demanded that the Defense and Interior Ministers provide explanations to the House, stressing the need for Parliament to investigate the incident and prevent similar tragedies in future elections.
even though the time is so short, space for a security briefing on the elections that has just taken place. Mr. Speaker, this government may not have the opportunity again to speak to this nation on how well or not they have handled security, especially in relation to the just ended elections. Mr. Speaker, I think this is important because loss of lives during elections should not become a norm. Our elections should not always record the loss of Ghanaian lives. Mr. Speaker, it's becoming one too many. The first time we recorded this was in the 2020 general elections, where about 6 to 7 lives were lost after the elections. 7 to 8 lives. Mr. Speaker, just this election that has gone by, we are told of about 2 or 3 lives that have been lost. Mr. Speaker, indeed, as we speak, a family in Tolong, in Yankpala, is preparing for a funeral tomorrow with about 15 others nursing various degrees of injuries. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be accepted without us taking measures and proper briefing on what might have gone wrong. And so, Mr. Speaker, even though we do not have time, I will plead that the Business Committee considers a briefing to this House by either the Defense Minister or the Interior Minister or whoever was responsible for the provision of security in the just ended elections.
However, Defense Minister Dominic Niti-Will in response says that the government should not be held accountable for any security failures during the 2024 general elections. Instead, he shifted the responsibility to the National Election Security Task Force led by Inspector General of Police Dr. George Akufu-Dampare.
We as a country agreed from 2008 that ministers of state, government functionaries, including the MMDs, so municipal chief executives, the DCEs, ministers of state, government officials, members of parliament, cannot and should not be in charge of security when it comes to election matters. It should be left to the purview of the security services led by the police. So at the national level, it is the Inspector General of Police who is in charge of the security, the committee that oversees the security when it comes to election purposes. And at the regional level, it is the regional police commander who is in charge of it. And at district level, it is the district police commander who is in charge of it. And so that's how it is. There's an election committee at the national, at the regional, and at the district. If you are calling the Minister for Interior, he would just simply come and tell you he was not in charge of it. It's the IGP. If you call any other person, whether it's Defense or Interior or any of the ministers, they will just be there. They will have no answers because at the day of before elections, the election and after election, is the security people who are in charge, led by the Inspector General of Police. And so if the Speaker thinks or the House thinks that they want to call the election security to come and brief this House, it cannot be members of, it cannot be ministers or government appointees because they have no role. And in fact, it was good. It's good that the executive were not in charge of security. It's always been like that because you cannot be a judge of your own court. It's wrong. And so that's why if you are calling somebody, it can only be the IGP and his team that will come and then you decide what happens. But I can say the records does not speak, or the record does not support your position that it was just 2020 and 2024 that people died out of election. I can tell you 2004 in Tolong, in Kumbungu, go and find out, and several other places, people lost their lives. But, Mr. Speaker, it's the decision of this House. If they want to call them, we can discuss these things.
To some other stories, the executive director for the Center of Prosperity Interest Organization, Mustafa Mason Yabwa, has expressed dissatisfaction over the low number of females entering the 9th Parliament. According to him, the actions of Ghanaians in the just and the elections demonstrate their unreadiness to promote women's leadership.
The upcoming 9th Parliament of Ghana will see a slight increase in female representation, with 41 female MPs set to take office. This is a minimal improvement from the current 40 female MPs, which was the highest number in the Fourth Republic. It is worth noting that the 2024 elections saw 118 female candidates vying for seats in the 276 constituency out of a total of 801 parliamentary candidates. While this represents a significant proportion of female candidates, the actual number of female MPs elected remains relatively low. According to Mustafa Mason Yabwa, Executive Director of the Center of Prosperity Interest Organization, the low number of female MPs elect reflects Ghanaians' unreadiness to promote women's leadership.
We were really advocating and at the same time campaigning for a lot of women to be elected as parliamentarians. But what we have realized, or what we saw, is just simple. The Ghanaians seems not to be ready to vote for woman or women to lead us in this nation, Ghana.
While applauding the president-elect for choosing a female vice president, Mustafa Yabwa appealed to John Mahama to appoint more women into his government.
For the first time in Ghana, we are going to experience a female being a vice president. That one, yes, I would say that it's a plus and it's good for Ghana.
The women's empowerment advocate urged young women to seize leadership opportunities and resist being deterred by societal obstacles.
I am equally advising or encouraging the women, most especially the young ones, that they should avail themselves for positions and they should prepare themselves well.
He, however, called on women empowerment advocates to continue campaigning and encouraging more women into leadership roles with the hope that there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
I will not say that because Ghanaians didn't vote for women or a woman, therefore I'm going to stop campaigning and championing the goodness of women. I'll continue doing that. I know definitely there will be a time that people will really understand the need of voting for a woman into a position.
Ghana's female parliamentary representation still creeps behind the global average, with women making up only about 15% of the total MPs. This highlights the need for continued efforts to promote gender equality and increase women's participation in politics. For Globe News, Idris Hamzata.
Alleged Kuku Member of Parliament Benjamin Aikunathi has assured his constituents of significant development in their constituency following his re-election in the 2024 elections. The Member of Parliament, who retained his seat after a fierce contest with Health Minister Dr. Bernard Okuboy, made this promise during a Thanksgiving ceremony.
The Lejekuku constituency was under intense scrutiny as voters had to decide between maintaining the incumbent MP or reverting to a previously rejected option. Ultimately, the constituents re-elected Benjamin Aikunathi, acknowledging his accomplishments during his first term. The Member of Parliament has urged his constituents to put aside their political differences that arose during the campaign period and instead focus on fostering development in the community.
The campaign time is over. Now, entrusted their money to us and make sure we work to certify them. And I urge everyone to let all that happen during the campaign behind them. We unite and prosecute the main agenda before us. There are so many policies that we have to, work on. All of us to support me to give Teshi a 15.
The MP acknowledged that his first term was challenging due to being in opposition, but now that his government is in power, he is committed to commencing new projects and completing existing ones.
Didn't see me delivering, fully, because my party was in government. But we tried to do our best with a lot of things. Now that we have our party in government, we expect more things. The construction of the polyclinic that have begun will be completed. The other projects that are started in the constituency, and make sure that everything.
Coming up on the program, questionable gold bars allegedly bound for an illicit flight out of the country have been seized and escorted to the Greater Accra Regional Police Headquarters. More stories coming up right after the break this day. You're welcome back from the break. A dramatic turn of events has unfolded in the saga of suspicious gold bars as the questionable treasures have been seized and escorted to the Greater Accra Regional Police Headquarters. The gold bars allegedly bound for an illicit flight out of the country were intercepted under bizarre circumstances. The exact details of the seizure remain unclear, but sources indicate that the gold bars are now in the custody of the police. The Greater Accra Regional Police Headquarters will likely serve as the central location for the investigation into the origins and intended destination of the gold bars. Well, stay tuned for further updates as this story continues to unfold. Away from that, the Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the Ghana National Fire Service, has launched an investigation into a fire outbreak that occurred in the early hours of Tuesday, December 17 at the Kwasheman cluster of schools, a facility notable for housing the Ablekuma North constituency ballot boxes. In a statement, the police assured the public that anyone found responsible for the fire would be arrested and prosecuted. They urged arrested nationwide in connection with these disturbances. Of these, 45 have been remanded in custody, 71 are on police inquiry bail, and 16 are on court bail while legal proceedings continue. Authorities have reiterated their commitment to maintaining peace and stability and urge the public to cooperate fully as investigations progress. Now, His Royal Highness Eze Kennedy Guinea Kanwa Obi, King of Nigerians in part of Accra, has congratulated John Mahama on his victory in Ghana's presidential election, describing it as a triumph for democracy. In an interview, Obi urged Ghanaians and the global community to support the president-elect.
The 2024 presidential election saw John Dramani Mahama emerge victorious, securing over 6 million votes, representing 56.55% of the total valid vote. His main opponent, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of the New Patriotic Party, garnered over 4.6 million votes, accounting for 41.61% of the total valid vote. Mohammed's win was met with congratulations from various political figures and leaders, including the King of Nigerians living in Accra, His Royal Highness Eze Kennedy Ginikanwa Obi. King Obi has expressed his joy at Mohammed's success and urged Ghanaians and the global community to support the new president. And
he won the election, and there was no any kind of fracas, trouble, mayhem, chaos in Ghana. I want to thank Ghanaians for the attitude, the resilience, the kind of people they are. Peaceful people. They have exhibited that. People have seen it. Nigerians have seen it. Ghanaians themselves, Africa, are looking up to them.
King Obi also commended Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for a swift concession, highlighting the importance of democracy. He praised Ghana for its exemplary democratic conduct, setting a positive example for the rest of Africa.
I will tell you, Ghana is the beacon of democracy in Africa, in Northwest Africa. Their kind of democracy is very unique. The world have seen, and Africans as a whole have seen. We should be learning good things, not to learn bad. Ghana have demonstrated that they are really beacon of the democracy in West Africa and Africa. His Excellency Mahmoud Bawumia, he exhibited the character of Ghanaians. I saw it that he doesn't want anybody to lose his life. I saw it that he wants peace in this particular election.
Let's do regional stories. Hat 8, a pioneer in high-performance computing, has donated to Frank May Orphanage in Techiman following a seminar at the AJ Plaza Hotel. The move forms part of the company's philanthropic effort to improve the lives of the people.
As a responsible leader in digital asset mining, Hat 8's mission is to create value for future generations. The company specializes in Bitcoin mining and hosting, energy arbitrage, traditional data center operations, and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. Following a seminar in Techiman in the Bono East region, the company extended its philanthropic effort to Frank May Orphanage, showing support to the needy children. The owner of Frank May Orphanage, Mary Wuntumam, expressed gratitude to the Hat 8 team for their donation.
So all I'm saying is that we are so grateful to God and to you, Hop 8, for their support. We are so grateful to see all that we are seeing. It's much. And I think that if you had gone to give it to someone else somewhere who would have paid you back, it would have been a great deal. But you've not considered that it's people like us, we those who are orphans, vulnerable, that you have chosen to visit and to support. With a heart of gratitude, we thank the leaders of Hat 8. We thank the leaders of Hat 8. We thank all members of Hat 8 for considering people like us and visiting us to do us this great donation.
During the seminar, the manager of Hat 8 Techiman branch, Isaac Zaratu, provided insight into the company's importance in Ghana and encouraged attendees to join.
When you are doing this investment, I will advise each and everyone here that the money, when we all know that we have income pockets, we are losing a batch to please, we are not going with your own money. We have money, so we don't go like your money. We already arranged for the back end, and the back will be moving, we will down to the rating.
In a further display of generosity, the Hat 8 team extended their philanthropic effort to Nkranza and donated to a children's home for persons with disabilities.
Give us some items to do the disability with. So as we are coming back, we will only elaborate more on our presentation, do our pick and take, and then we take it from there. And if there will be any questions or suggestions, They are all welcome.
The maiden annual general meeting of Startups Cooperative Credit Union has come to a close, with the members praising the institution's effort to support small businesses. The credit union, which boasts over 1,000 members across Ghana, provides financial assistance and guidance to entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Startups Cooperative Credit Union, a financial institution dedicated to supporting the growth of infant and small businesses, has held its maiden annual general meeting in Techiman on December 17th. The meeting, which brought together small business owners from fashion, cosmetology, trade, artisanal and mobile money vendors, provided a platform for the credit union to present its annual report, highlighting its achievement and challenges over its 1 year of existence. Speaking at the event, the board chairman of the credit union, lawyer Samuel Febenti, said the credit union has made significant strides in supporting small businesses, providing financial assistance and guidance to help them grow and thrive.
A lot of informal businesses, which a high percentage of Ghanaians are involved in, do not have access to credit in terms of improving their businesses. And yet we as a hub, our focus area is promoting youth employment. So we realize that if you look at the cycle of help that can come for youth employment, you identify viable areas for people to go into business, you train them to undertake businesses, but there is no financial support from anywhere. So we realize that in order to make our cycle of support to entrepreneurs in Ghana, we don't only need to train them in entrepreneurial opportunity and also give them opportunities where businesses are viable, but we also need to have a system that they can access funds in terms of credit union or loans to be able to support the growth of their businesses.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Agrico Hub, George Antwibo-Siako, mentioned the credit union has introduced new services and products designed to further support the growth of small businesses. These innovations, according to him, are expected to enhance the credit union's offerings and provide members with even greater access to financial resources and expertise.
So irrespective of the state of your business, we look at your business, we assess the business, and then we advise you and we handhold you so that you can actually grow the business. So we offer business advisory services, we offer financial management services, and we also offer training. So we train you as to how you'll be able to put your business documentation together. We ensure that your business grow, and not just a slogan. We do the actual hand-holding support. And because we work with a business development and business innovation hub, we actually take you through incubation and acceleration programs that will help you to be able to jumpstart.
Members of Startup Cooperative Credit Union shared heartwarming testimonials of how the credit union has transformed their businesses.
So as a businessman, me here be a me nyama bana me here skabi putupu. Me ba no mama me. Overdraft. Nti month ni bedu na me dey show. Sa na me dey come ni man ti aboa me. Ka se mo me na me boa.
Ama madwuma mu atumfo, madwuma mu atre. Ena ama manya paso bebre. Ahochire bia na ohaw bia na obi wo mu na afri ne so.
On the international front, a top Russian general has been assassinated in Moscow by Ukraine's SBU intelligence service this day. A top Russian general accused of Ukraine of being responsible for the use of chemical weapons against Ukrainian troops who was assassinated in Moscow by Ukraine's SBU intelligence service on Tuesday morning in the most high-profile killing of its kind. Lieutenant General Kirillov, who was chief of Russia's nuclear, biological and chemical protection troops, was killed outside an apartment building along with his assistant when a bomb hidden in an electric scooter went off, Russia's investigative committee, which probes serious crimes, said. Coming up in sports, Black Galaxies host their West African nemesis, Nigeria, in the first leg of the final qualifying round for the 2025 African Nations Championship this day. The long-standing rivalry between Ghana and Nigeria takes center stage this weekend as the Black Galaxies host their West African nemesis in the first leg of the final qualifying round for the 2025 African Nations Championship. The clash, set for Sunday, December 22nd at the Accra Sports Stadium, promises to reignite memories of Ghana's dramatic qualification for the last CHAN tournament in 2023. Here are words from Black Galaxies head coach Didi Drama. Brazil and Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. was named the FIFA Men's Player of the Year in Doha on Tuesday, with Spain and Barcelona midfielder Aitana Bonmatí winning the Women's Award for the second year in a row. The Brazilian won the award ahead of Spain and Manchester City midfielder Rodri and his teammate at Real England's Jude Bellingham. Real